Hey, what's going on? Kerry Sullivan here with another How to Kick Ass in Sales.com video. And today is all about selling to large groups of people. So when you're selling to large groups of people, you have to have that complete control and presence of the room to really go out there, right? And knock it out of the park. Because you want to go and have an impact that people think, my God, this guy has got it, right? That je ne sais quoi, as they say. So how is it that you do that? You know, in some of my other videos, I've talked about having your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your self-image all in alignment together. That's basic sports psychology. Another way to word that from my main man Jarek Robbins, who I did an interview with last week, is you got to have your feelings, right, your beliefs, and your thoughts all in alignment. It's the same thing. It really is the same thing. So number one, going into that meeting, you got to think to yourself that I got this. You got to be saying empowering thoughts to yourself. You got to be asking yourself questions such as, how can I go out there and knock this out of the park, versus I don't know how I'm gonna make this happen, right? That's a losing mentality. You have to start with winning in the mind first. It all starts here. You gotta win mentally first, right? You gotta win mentally first. And one of the ways you do that is through practice as well, right? So you gotta go through there and you gotta practice, right? The other thing is that you have to have the beliefs in place, right? You have to have the beliefs in place that you can go in there and knock things out of the park, so you can have that presence in that room, right? That je ne sais quoi, as I was talking about. And again, that comes from practice, right? Because if you continually practice this thing, you're gonna believe that you can go in there and execute. It's just like in sports, right? You go out there and you practice every day at your craft, right? Whether it be hitting a basketball shot, a golf shot, whatever it is. It's just that constant practice. So you have that belief that you can go out there and execute on that. It's the same thing when you sell in front of groups of people. So practice selling in front of groups of people, in front of friends, family. You can line up teddy bears. I knew a speaker who told me he used teddy bears and his kids stuffed animals. And I go, why stuffed animals? He goes, they have eyes, right? So whatever it takes to simulate that situation, and ideally you want to simulate that situation being even tougher than you are doing things in real life. So that is the next part. And then you have to get the emotions involved, right? You have to get the emotions involved. When you get those emotions involved, they're gonna start getting into it as well and getting emotionally attached to it, right? Emotionally attached to it. And we know this through neuroscience too. I'm not just BSing you on this. We know in neuroscience that we have mirror neurons, right? And these mirror neurons, when you are with someone, right, and they're crying, you will naturally start to feel that kind of kind of emotion as well. You will feel for them. Or someone, they've done experiments with someone being in any kind of pain, you know, snapping back a rubber band, and that person who's watching that will actually feel that emotion and that pain even more sometimes than the person that actually experiences it. So when you get into it, you get that emotion into it, you start gripping them more, right? You start gripping them more, and they're able to connect with you better, right? If you look at some of the best speeches out there and the best sellers out there in front of groups, they use a lot of emotion. They use a lot of emotion. So really do that as well. So when you bring those things together, that really makes it and takes it to the next level. So again, it's having your thoughts, your beliefs, and that emotion into it. And so you do that by practicing, and you got to feel it when you're talking about it. You got to feel it from within, right? You got to get into that state. You got to get into that state, and you got to feel it too. And when you do that, people are going to connect with you even more, right? And again, we know this through neuroscience. So practice it, practice your craft, get excellent at it, and I'll see you on the next How to Kick Ass in Sales.com video. And if you got any other questions, hit me up. I'll answer them for you. Bye-bye.